Hello and welcome to Tales of Repetition Compulsion 15. Now this is a new channel and maybe for some of you it's your first time to look at this type of video. So I will go into some basic explanations of some of the concepts, and for those of you that are subscribed, I apologize because there's repetition for you, but I'm trying to cater for some new viewers too. Okay, so look, repetition compulsion, Tales of Repetition Compulsion number 15 is where we're at. And remember, I was saying that it's a difficult concept to understand. So I feel the best way to explain repetition compulsion is to give examples or tales from our everyday lives, showing how it invades every aspect of our lives. Each tale is centered around a specific life category, a specific bad message, and a character. So in today's Tales of Repetition Compulsion 15, the life category is finances. The bad message is, when it comes to money, don't trust your feelings and don't trust your instincts. And the character is Eva. Do you go through your life always feeling that when it comes to money, you don't really trust what you're doing, that you're not really sure about how to handle money? I was like this for most of my life. I was controlled by don't trust your instincts and don't trust your feelings when it comes to money. But I did manage to find a way to stop what I call this bad message from controlling how I dealt with money. And I'll show you how to do that later on. In fact, my three dogs, who I call the three wise tales, they'll actually show you how to do this at the end of this section. So with money, where does this bad message, don't trust your feelings and don't trust your instincts, come from? How does that come about? Well, children learn what they live, and they are subconsciously programmed to repeat in their adult lives what they learned as a child. What a child learns becomes their normal. It is what they are familiar with, and as adults, we are subconsciously programmed or compelled to gravitate to what feels normal for us, even if it hurts us. So, if a child grows up in a toxic or abusive environment, they will sadly naturally gravitate towards toxic and abusive situations in their adult lives. This is not the child's or the adult's fault. They are not to blame because they don't even know they are doing this. It's all done subconsciously. Sadly, if a child's experience was living in a toxic and maybe an abusive environment, they are pretty much destined to recreate this environment in their adult lives. And this is the psychological concept called repetition compulsion, where we are compelled or programmed to repeat in our adult lives what we learned as children. So, in this Tales of Repetition Compulsion 15, let's look at Eva when she was a child. How does she learn not to trust her feelings and instincts around money? Eva is 9 years old. She gets a birthday card from one of her aunts, and when she opens the card, she is delighted to see a £20 note drop out. This is a huge amount of money for Eva, and she rushes to tell her mother about it. "Look what I got, Mammy," she says to her mother. "I want to save it all, so maybe someday I can buy a new pair of those expensive runners." Eva assumes her mother will be mighty impressed at her plan, but this is what Eva has to listen to. "Are you stupid or what? You haven't a clue about money, do you? Now, you can do what you want with it, but that £20 would come in very handy now instead of you putting it away where nobody can get at it. It's now we need the money. But as I say, you decide, and I suppose it is your money after all." Eva hesitates. She realises her idea of saving has not impressed her mother at all. So Eva spends the whole evening thinking about what her mother has said. And the poor little girl ends up totally confused. She doesn't know what to do. She wants to save the money as she feels it would be a great start to getting money together towards a new pair of runners. She feels that would be a really sensible thing to do. But in the end, her mother's words have managed to persuade Eva against her plan to save. So later at dinner, Eva brings up the £20 gift again, and she says to her mother, "Mammy, I was thinking about that money. You're right. I won't save it. We'll use it to pay for my school lunches." "Well, that makes more sense, doesn't it, Eva?" says her mother. "What a clever little girl you are. I'm glad you saw sense, because you don't understand money." And with that, Eva hands the money over to her mother. The problem here isn't that Eva wasn't taught to save. The problem is that she was taught not to trust her own financial instincts. So, is it any surprise that in her childhood, Eva learns the bad message that when it comes to money, don't trust your feelings and don't trust your instincts? Now, Eva is not aware that she has now learned this bad message. As I said, it's all done subconsciously. This way of living, always feeling that she doesn't trust herself when it comes to money, is what becomes normal for Eva. This is what is familiar for her. And since we are programmed to gravitate to what is familiar for us, it's now highly likely that Eva will gravitate to feeling exactly like this as an adult. Now let's fast forward to Eva as an adult. She's in her 30s. She has a permanent, pensionable job, but there are no bonuses or benefits in this job. It's a modest, fixed income, so most of the time, Eva does find it hard to make ends meet. I mean, there's no extra money, not much. But one day, something fantastic happens. One of her close friends offers her a great business opportunity. And wait and hear about this. This friend runs a lucrative business, and it has been so busy she needs a partner to come on board so as to share the workload. The pay is 5 times what Eva is currently earning, and there are huge bonuses. The company has been up and running for over 10 years, and it has already made into the millions in profit. Eva knows this is an opportunity she can't refuse. She really wants to accept this offer, as it would be a major advancement in her career in terms of the actual job and also in terms of financial success. So, 2 days later, Eva is on her way to a meeting with her business friend to tell her she will accept the offer, pending confirmation of contract details, etc. But on her way to this meeting, Eva bumps into another friend. Eva says hello to her friend, and she starts to tell her friend all about her new fabulous business opportunity. But this is what Eva has to listen to. "Are you mad? You have a great job. Well, you have a good job. Why risk losing your job security? That business could go bust tomorrow. What would you do then?" Eva is plunged into total confusion and turmoil. Eva has done her research. Now, this business she wants to join is hugely successful, and it is about to expand globally. She would be a millionaire in no time. But, despite all this, she is now hesitating. Maybe her friend is right. Maybe it will all go bust. What does she do? She cancels the meeting with her business friend, and she stays in her permanent, pensionable post. She will definitely never become a millionaire in this job. So nothing has changed for Eva, has it? As a child, Eva learned that when it comes to money, she can't trust her instincts. Someone always knows better than her. And now, as an adult, Eva is still not able to trust her feelings and instincts around money. Eva was totally confident this business opportunity would have worked out very well for her, but the slightest opposing opinion was enough to dissuade her from going ahead. And this is repetition compulsion in action, where the past is replayed in the present, not because Eva chooses it, but because the subconscious bad message, when it comes to money, don't trust your feelings and your instincts, this bad message is still controlling her behaviour. This is what she learned as a child. It became her normal. And until this is brought into Eva's awareness, until somebody tells her she is doing this, she will keep repeating what feels familiar to her, even when it hurts. And now, I'm going to hand you over to the three wise tales. These three beauties, they were a constant support to me when I was trying to break free from the control of all the 6 bad messages and from the control of repetition compulsion. I mean, they controlled my life for many, many years. My 3 dogs are still a constant support in my life. They're now going to tell you the 3 ways to break free from being under the control of the 2 toxic, sinister, hidden forces called the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. Hello, lads, come on in and do your job now. First we have Petal. Hello, Petal.
Hello, my name is Petal, and I am the first of the 3 wise tales. Today we're going to show you the 3 ways to break free from the control of 2 toxic hidden forces, and they are the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. Now these 2 forces go hand in hand. They feed into each other. When these 2 forces run our lives subconsciously, we are not in control because our subconscious minds are in control. Therefore, we are not the top dog. We are just a cog trapped inside the toxic machinery of these 2 rotten forces. So, that's why the first way to heal is awareness. You see, how can you stop doing something which is subconscious, as in you don't know you are doing it, unless someone makes you aware of what you are doing? And this is why we are here, to make you aware that you may be under the control of these 2 forces. So, awareness is the first step, and no healing can happen without awareness. Awareness means you are finally able to start looking at your adult patterns, realizing now you have been forced or compelled to repeat your toxic and abusive childhood. And you also now know that it is not your fault that you do this, so you are not to blame yourself. The moment you become aware that you are being controlled by these 2 toxic forces, they no longer control you. You control them, as you have moved them from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind. And remember, we can control what is in our conscious mind. Awareness moves you out of being a helpless cog and starts to put you in the position of top dog. And now I'll hand you over to Blossie. He's going to explain to you the second way to break free from the control of the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. Hello, Blossie. How are you? Glad to see you.
Hello, my name is Blossie, and I am the second of the 3 wise tales. I am very old. So yes, I have a long white beard. But being very old doesn't just mean I have a hairy face. It also means that I am very wise. Most people who grow up in a toxic or abusive homes were never taught to trust their feelings or instincts. In fact, they were taught to ignore them. In a toxic or abusive home, if a child had an opinion, they were told things like, "Don't be going on with that nonsense. You're just imagining it. Keep your ideas to yourself and don't be making trouble." Over time, the child learned to disconnect from their feelings and their instincts. And in doing that, they disconnected from their natural warning system. Your feelings and instincts are your built-in protection system. They are always right and they always want to protect you. If you shut them out, you have no protections against toxic and abusive people coming into your life. And so you will repeat in your adult life the toxic and abusive situations you experienced as a child. When you begin to listen to and trust your feelings and instincts, everything changes. You start choosing safety. You start choosing yourself. You start saying no to toxic and abusive situations. Because top dogs protect themselves. Top dogs listen to their feelings and their instincts, and in doing this, they break the control of the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. And now, I'm going to hand you over to Dotty. She is going to tell you the 3rd way to break free from the control of the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. Hello, Dotty. Delighted you're here. Now get to work.
Hello, my name is Dotty, and I am the 3rd of the 3 wise tales. I am the queen of the pack. I'm the entertainer. I keep everyone happy. So I am definitely the top dog in this house. Now listen closely, because this final step is powerful. The 6 bad messages didn't come from nowhere. They came from having to survive a tough childhood. And here's the truth. The 6 bad messages are not facts. They are lies you learned. So, the 3rd way to heal is to nip and flip the bad messages. You catch a bad message, you nip it in the bud, you don't give it airtime, you don't entertain it. Then you flip it to the truth about yourself. You flip the bad message about yourself to a good message about yourself. So, you are not enough becomes I am enough exactly as I am. You are responsible for others, adults, becomes I am only responsible for myself. You are alone becomes no, I'm not alone. I matter and I belong and lots of people love me. Now, you might say, Dotty, that's so obvious. But it isn't obvious, as we are feeding ourselves these bad messages from our subconscious minds. Therefore, we don't even know we are doing this. But when we nip and flip, we bring the bad message into our awareness, into our conscious mind. And by doing this, we are in control. And we can now retrain our minds to believe the truth, to believe the good messages. So, every time you nip and flip, you take your power back, because top dogs choose their thoughts. Top dogs choose to feed themselves good messages about themselves. Top dogs choose to ignore the lying, nasty, bad messages. Top dogs are no longer cogs. So today, me, Petal, Blossie and Annette, we want to tell you this. You are not alone. You really do matter. And we are all here together learning to have better lives. We really care about you. And one last thing. The 3 wise tales, we have a very important, good message to tell you. We want to tell you that we really, woof, you.